Hey everyone, it's Wheels Programming, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a library catalog using React and Flask. So first off, I'm just going to create a new folder. I've already created a new folder for myself. It's just called library cat now. So select the folder. And two things before you start this project, you want to make sure you have Node and pip installed. So I'm just going to check this to make sure I do. So I'm just going to do node-v so that I know I have Node installed, and then I'm going to go pip dash with a capital V. So now I know I have pip installed. So after this, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the React app. So I'm going to create this by going npx create dash react dash app, and then whatever you want to name it. So I'm just going to name mine library catalog. When you name this, make sure you don't use any capitals, just because it's not going to work if you do. So I'm just going to press this. This is probably going to take around a minute or two, so feel free to just F-forward. But during this time, I just want to talk about what other things we need. So right now, after this, we're going to create like a virtual environment using Python for the Python Flask part. To do this, you can either do it in the terminal, but I just personally like using PyCharm, so I'm just going to create that after this is done loading. Also, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like and subscribe for more content. So it's just going to take a while to download all the dependencies and the packages it needs. Okay, and it's making a Git repository for me, so it's open on Git. That's okay. So it shouldn't take more than 30 seconds after this, I don't think. Okay. And everything's good. So to test that this works, we can go npm start. If we go npm start, okay, this is a very common mistake. See, right now I'm not inside the actual thing. So if I go ls, if there's actually a folder that I made, that's going to carry everything inside of it. So the first thing I have to do is I have to go cd library catalog. So once I'm inside here, you'll see this is master right now because it's put into Git automatically. So once you're inside of here, if you go npm start, then it should start up. So it's just slowly starting. It's just going to be the default web app, which I'll show right here. Very standard. It's right now on localhost 3000, which is okay. Okay, and yeah, this is just going to be the default app, nothing big. We're just doing this to test it to make sure it works. So I'm going to go back here. I'm just going to go Control C for now just to stop it. And then we're going to start our Flask part. For the Flask, as I said, I'm going to use PyCharm to create a new project just because I'm like a little lazy. I don't really want to create my own virtual environment. So I'm just going to go create a new project, pure Python. And it's going to be wherever you put inside this. So inside of library catalog, I'm going to put a new file here. I'm going to go new folder, and I'm going to name this Flask, just so where I can put the API. So I'm just going to name it Flask. So inside of here, I'm going to go create. It's going to create a virtual environment for me and everything that I need. So it's just going to create. It's going to be really quick. Just installing some dependencies. So I'm going to close this for now. And the reason I told you guys to install pip before is because we need pip to install Flask. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go pip install Flask. So it's going to collect. It's not going to download for me because I've already downloaded it. So it's already in my cache. And the next thing we need to do is also install .env. So I'm going to go pip install python -.env. So I've also installed that, so it's just going to get it from my cache. But for you guys, it might have to install. It's going to take a little bit, just not very long, less than 10 seconds. So after that, I'm going to create a new file here. So I'm going to right click here, go new, file. So for this file, I'm going to call it flaskapi.py. So it's going to be right inside there. I'll just add it right to my Git. make sure that this is not inside your VNV. Make sure this file is not inside your VNV. So right here, I'm gonna include import Flask here. So I'm gonna go from Flask import Flask. So that's the first line, and then we're gonna create an object called app, which will use this Flask. So app, you can name this whatever, you can name this app whatever you want, but I'm just gonna name it app. Flask underscore name underscore. So then that's good for now. So I'm just gonna create a test route for now. Later I'm gonna show you guys how to connect this to a database and also how to create models. But for now I'm just gonna create a really simple test route. So I'm just gonna go at app.route, and let's just name this one test for now, or actually not just test, but slash test. Always have a slash before your root, just for good practice. And then the method this is going to use is a get method. So I'm just going to do a get right here. And then I'm just going to also do this as a test, just to make sure we actually can connect. So for right here, I'm just going to return, you have to use quotation marks here. Test, let's just do, also return back test1. So this is pretty good for now. So one other thing we have to do is also create a .env file. So if I try to run this right now, you'll run into this error. So if I go Flask run, it's not going to be able to locate the file. That's because we don't have the .env. So I'm just going to go right click here again, go new, file. I'm just going to do .env, press OK. I'll add that to my git as well. Make sure it's not inside this VNV folder again. And inside here, we have to do two things. We have to first write Flask underscore app is equal to whatever you name this file. So for me, it's going to be Flask API.py. For you, it might be something different if you name it differently. So it's going to be Flask API.py. And then for the next, I'm going to go Flask underscore env, and we're going to put it into development. So development. So I'm just going to save this, and then you'll see if I try going Flask run now, it's going to work. So Flask run, you can see it's running on port 5000, so we can actually check this out. So I'm just going to click this. It's going to say nothing's found, just because we haven't put a route for this specific route. But if I go /test, you'll see it's the exact, it's whatever we wanted to return right here. So we know that this Flask is run correctly now. So now I'm going to go back into my Visual Studios. Inside library catalog, you'll see we have the Flask right here. We don't have to touch this for now, this is okay. What we have to do now to connect it is we have to go into package.json. So inside of package.json, right under scripts, I'm just going to do it under start, I guess. I'm going to do another command, and for this one, it's going to just start the Flask app as well. So I'm going to start -Flask, and then it's wherever, whatever you name this folder. So for me, it's going to be Flask. You have to cd that file. So I'm going to go cd Flask for me, because I named this folder Flask. And then do two and symbols, and then go Flask run, which is exactly what we did right here to run it. I'm just going to press Ctrl+C on here for now, just to stop the Flask app from running. So I'm going to go back here. So yep, cd Flask and Flask run. So after this, we had to put a comma. And then after that, right here, we also want to set up a proxy right here. So I'm just going to put a comma right here, and then I'm going to go proxy. And then what we want to proxy is whatever we set over here. So you guys saw it was running right here on HTTP 127.0 on port 5000. This 127.0.0.1 is the same thing as localhost, which is what we want to proxy. So the first thing we're going to do is go back here, and we're going to do the exact same thing. So HTTP : I'm just going to write localhost. You can also write the 127.0.01 thing, but this is just easier, in my opinion. Host. And don't write the test, just go 5000, which is what the port it was on. So I'm just going to save now. And then to run both the apps simultaneously, we can go npm start. This will start our React app. And one of the reasons that I did this is because you can run it on the same. One of the reasons I used Visual Studios for this is because you can open up another terminal, And then in this terminal, you can go npm run, and then whatever you named right here. So I named mine start-flask. So I'm going to go npm run start-flask. So it says it cannot find it right now. Okay. So the reason I can't run it right now is because I haven't cd'd into the right folder. So when you see this error, that's usually one of the reasons why. So I'm just going to go ls, go cd library catalog, and then I'm going to go the exact same command again, npm run start-flask. So right now you're going to see it's running again. And then if I go right now to get, if I go into localhost 5000, so instead of 3000 we'll go 5000, you'll see it's also running. And I can go /test and it'll work. So we know both of them can now be run on the same part, just doing two different commands. And this is like connected now. So to call commands, you have to use something called an ax. For me, I use Axios to like call from the back end to the front end. But that's going to be another video. This is just an introduction to how you connect a how to connect a Flask backend to a React front end. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it was helpful. I'll start making the next video on how to connect a database to this, and then we'll make some functionality of the website, do some API calls, etc., etc. Thanks for watching, and have a great